If you or a loved one is approaching retirement and are looking for a caring community to answer your questions, you're in the right place this morning on KFOR, because every Saturday morning we offer you the Aging Adventure, brought to you by Legacy Retirement Communities. I'm Dale Johnson, joined by John Kopetsky, Executive Director of Legacy Terrace at 5700 Fremont Street, and Kathy Blythe, longtime radio host here on KFOR and longtime advocate for Lincoln seniors. Kathy, good morning. John, good morning to you too.
Hi, Dale.
Good morning, Dale.
We all have stuff, our kids' stuff, our hand-me-down stuff, and stuff we've forgotten that we even have. Any time is a good time to glean through that stuff, but especially when it's time to move into a retirement community. We call in an expert on getting rid of stuff. Jeannine Bryant of Changing Spaces SRS does it for a living. She joins John and Kathy this morning for the conversation on Aging Adventure.
Jeannine, thanks for joining us again. It's always great to have you on the show. You do such great work for Lincoln seniors.
Well, thank you for having me. I just love being here.
So, you've got as much experience about dealing with this as probably anybody in Lincoln. The holiday season is coming up. Families are going to get together. What advice would you give for folks that are considering having that conversation with their family about senior living?
I mean, it's such an important time. It's a great opportunity because it's like you can have a whole family meeting to discuss a big transition, because it is a big transition, right? And it's a big decision, and there are a lot of different factors that go into downsizing and moving if that's what you decide to do. And even if you're not going to move, you can still be downsizing, right? Because we've all got too much stuff. And what better time than to talk about some of those, especially keepsake items, than when your whole family is together around the holidays. So it's a great opportunity to start talking about that.
Jeannine, I love what you have to say about giving special mementos to children and grandchildren at Christmas. Share that with our listeners, if you would.
Yes, what a great opportunity when the whole family is gathered together to start passing on some of those keepsakes that you want your children and grandchildren to keep and love and appreciate. Now's the time. Okay, so box up those special mementos, wrap them up. Don't buy your kids or your grandkids more stuff, because newsflash, they don't need it. But now's the time to pass along some of those special things. Now, we're not talking about regifting things that you don't want. We're talking about regifting those special family mementos that you really want to stay in the family for generations to come. Why wait until after you're gone to give those items to your family? Why not do it now when you are here? You can see them and opening it and enjoying it, and you can be there to explain the whole history and the whole story behind it. And the other, it's a little sneaky, because the other side of this coin is that who's going to refuse a Christmas present, right? So if you think my kids don't want my stuff, go ahead and wrap it up as a Christmas present, put it under the tree, and they have to take it home, right?
If folks are considering a move to senior living in the next year or so, do you have any tips on how they can use the holiday season to start that conversation or to continue that conversation with their family?
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, like we always say, more communication is always better. So just making sure that everyone's on the same page. And as you talk about your upcoming transition, we always recommend at Changing Spaces SRS, we just break it down into really simple steps. And so if you know that you're thinking about, a certain retirement community, and you're thinking about, well, I really would like a 2-bedroom apartment, or maybe a 1-bedroom apartment fits better with my budget, or whatever. And then you start thinking about, how am I going to use those rooms, right? So if you are moving into a 2-bedroom apartment, maybe one's going to be a sewing room and one's going to be your master bedroom. And so then when your kids are home this holiday season, it's a great way to involve them as well as you walk around your house and you start talking about what items might come with you to the retirement community. What items are you keeping? I always say that the senior gets to choose first, and then you can talk about which items you might be gifting proactively to your kids, because you know that you'll be emptying out the house in the next year. And that's a big project.
What suggestions do you have for people that are empty nesters, but they may have lots of extra furniture, lots of extra dinnerware, other items around the house that are becoming quite excess?
Well, be generous to your adult children or your adult grandchildren. One of the best ways to do that is if you have a family member who's setting up a house for the first time or setting up an apartment for the first time, and you've got some excess, go ahead and bless them with some of your excess. And if you don't have anyone in your family and you do have a lot of excess items, go ahead and bless someone else in the community with those items as well. We are very lucky here in Lincoln. We've got lots of amazing charities that serve our community. And there's lots of really great ways to get those things out of your house, maybe those things that are causing a little bit of extra stress because you got too much of them, into the hands of someone else in our community who can really use them.
Jeannine, I will vouch for using stuff from a senior to help somebody set up their apartment for the first time. When my oldest daughter, Megan, was setting up her first apartment, a lot of the furniture that she had there came from her grandma, my mother. That was about the same time she was moving here to one of the legacy communities. Now, when Megan got married, all of that stuff came back to me, but now it's my stuff. But it's a great way to gift somebody something, and it can have great sentimental value to the person receiving it. We have so much more to talk about, and we've got one of the great experts in Lincoln, Jeannine Bryant from Changing Spaces SRS, and we'll have more after this on The Aging Adventure.
Welcome back to The Aging Adventure on KFOR. I'm Dale Johnson, continuing the conversation on transitioning into retirement by ridding your home of stuff. Back to John and Kathy with Jeannine Bryant of Changing Spaces SRS.
Jeannine, we always get pretty excited about your mantra of less stuff. More joy, less stuff. When we leave you thinking that this is going to be a turning point in our lives, sometimes it is. Sometimes we need the reminder a few times. But as we get into the holiday season, and we want to give gifts to those we love, especially for seniors or those who are in smaller spaces, there is such a thing as clutter-free gift giving. Tell us what you mean by that.
Yes. Well, I would love all of our wonderful listeners out there in Radio Land to raise their hand if you look around your house and you think, I just don't have enough stuff. I really hope that people give me a bunch of stuff this holiday season. I would guess that most of us think, okay, we got enough stuff, right? And so I love trying to give clutter-free gifts to the seniors in my life, but honestly to everyone in my life. And so you have to get a little creative, but that means a gift that is not just gonna sit on a shelf or in a closet or, add more stuff to your house. So these are things like consumable gifts. Okay, so fine chocolate, fancy coffee, maybe fancy wine. Okay, something like that, something that you enjoy, you consume, and then you throw the box out. Okay, and it doesn't sit around in your house. Another category of clutter-free gifts could be temporary gifts. Okay, so this is flowers. I do like giving plants, but giving a plant kind of feels like giving someone a pet. I mean, they feel like they have to take care of it and it could live for years, quite frankly. So flowers are a nice sort of temporary gift that someone can enjoy for a season, or poinsettias, or some kind of a nice winter arrangement. We've already talked about re-gifting some items that you already own. Again, that's talking about like keepsakes. Okay, so you may not be adding, you may be adding a physical object to a loved one's home, but it's not going to be clutter. It's going to be something that's very meaningful. I also talk about gifts that pamper. Okay, so a massage, a pedicure, a manicure, any of those things are awesome. I tell you, one thing that I have given to my team members this year, I try to give my team members a clutter-free birthday gift, okay, throughout the year on their birthday. And this year I got them all a car wash. So they got a free car wash on me. Okay. So that's a great gift. You could get someone, like some of these local car washes in town have memberships, a yearly membership. That would be an awesome, I hope someone gives that to me. That would be a great gift. If it's someone who has a family, maybe it's a zoo membership or a membership to a local museum. Maybe it's tickets to the Lead Center, okay, or movie theater tickets. You can also make charity donations in their name. So these are all great, tons of great ideas for a meaningful gift that someone will enjoy, but it's not going to add extra clutter to their life.
Jeannine, one gift that my daughters gave to my wife last year at Christmas time was a subscription to a monthly magazine that she gets and enjoys throughout the year. And, what a great idea.
Absolutely. My kids got that from their great aunt last year. And yeah, same thing. It's exciting. They get something in the mail, they read it, and then mom can recycle it after a couple weeks. Other ideas might just be something like a Sam's Club membership or a Costco membership, or, even a membership to the city pools, season pass to the city pools. The options are really endless. A YMCA membership, to really think about some of those things, because really those kind of gifts in a way can be a lot more meaningful than just another tchotchke. If you give the gift of an experience, so maybe you say, Mom, let's go out to a nice dinner at the venue, this weekend. That's going to be my gift to you. That experience is a lot more meaningful than if you got her a little ceramic angel at the gift shop. She doesn't have to dust it, and it adds happy memories, and it strengthens your bond in your relationship.
Jeannine, did you, in that list of things you gave us, and there are so many great things in there, did you mention homemade coupons?
Ooh, I love that. Absolutely. That's a great gift. A lot of kids do that too, to their parents, or homemade goods that you make yourself, right? Homemade cookies. I tell you one thing that I do in my family for my mother-in-law and for my father is I make a photo calendar of pictures of their grandkids that they can use throughout the year. They know it's no surprise. They get it every year, but then they know they don't have to buy a calendar because Jeannine's going to give them one. And then they see pictures of their grandkids throughout the year.
Yeah, we do a calendar in our family, and I get nominations from my daughters and my wife for pictures to be included throughout the year, and it's kind of a fun deal to be able to put that all together.
Oh, cute.
So
yeah,
if someone on your gift list is in the process of moving to a smaller home, maybe a townhome, downsizing a little bit, or moving to a senior living community, would you recommend giving them a gift this upcoming holiday season? That might be kind of tricky.
I just thought of this. I have a great idea. Why don't you give them the gift of your time and you say, Mom, since you're moving this year, I'm going to come over every weekend for the next 3 weekends, and we're going to clean out the basement. Give them the gift of time and service, because that's really all they want anyway, right? They want to spend time with their loved ones, but you can actually get some things done while you're spending time with them. So that's a fantastic idea.
So much more to cover, and we will have one more segment here with Jeannine Bryant from Changing Spaces SRS. That'll be coming up after these messages here on The Aging Adventure.
Welcome back to The Aging Adventure. I'm Dale Johnson. Final few minutes with John and Kathy and the conversation with Jeannine Bryant of Changing Spaces SRS.
Jeannine, let's talk about regifting items. Can you give us the best etiquette tips? This is okay, isn't it? You are blessing somebody else. Tell us how to best do that.
Yes. When we work with clients, we lots of times encounter them saying, well, my daughter gave me this, but I'm probably not going to be bringing it with me, so I'm going to give it back to her or ask her if she would like it. And again, it doesn't mean that they didn't love and enjoy that gift. It just means that maybe I don't have room for it in my new space. So if you are downsizing and having to let go of some things, and if someone gave you something, you might consider giving it back to them or asking them if they would like it. And then also, of course, gifting some of those really important family keepsake items or even if you have something that's not necessarily a keepsake item, but you know someone in your family has always admired it, like if someone's always admired this painting on the wall, or if your daughter has always admired your fur coat or whatever, maybe now's the time to pass on those items and bless someone else with them. So Christmas is a great time to do that.
Jeannine, I knew somebody who was a member of the clergy who would frequently get gifts from people, and when he wrote the thank you note, he said, thank you for the gift, and just as you bless me, I'm going to bless, and he would pass the gift along to someone else, a donation or whatever it was. So I mean that gift was re-given almost immediately in a very tasteful way.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. There's nothing wrong with that.
You always post the best stuff. I hope people are checking out what you put on social media, because it always seems to speak to whatever it is you need to hear at that particular moment. You have a knack for that, for just zeroing in to our hearts, Jeannine. And one of the things that you have posted on your blog is about a Christmas auction. You said that this isn't necessarily an original idea, but it's one you love and one I think our listeners are going to love too.
Yes, thank you, Kathy. I do a lot of presentations around town to different groups, church organizations or civic organizations bring me in to talk about clutter and right sizing. And I think it was pre-COVID, so probably a couple years ago, a man who was sitting in one of my presentations shared this idea that he had done in his family, and I stole it immediately because I thought, oh my gosh, this is a great idea. He had what he called Grandpa's Christmas auction, and he did this every year. And so when all of the kids and grandkids would come to his house for the holiday season, this was only the grandkids could participate in this. He gave the grandkids Monopoly money, a certain amount of Monopoly money for each kid. And then him and his wife put out items on their dining room table that they were ready to let go of. Okay. Maybe they were special keepsake items, or maybe it was just stuff that they were getting rid of. And the kids then were able to bid on an auction. The grandpa served as the auctioneer, and they were able to buy any items that they were interested in that were sitting on this dining room table. And so at the end of the day, everything on the dining room table had been redistributed to all the grandkids, which is great. Okay. But what really is important in this Christmas auction idea is that that grandfather created an experience for all of his grandkids, right? And so long after the grandpa is gone, those grandkids are going to think back, when they're adults, they're going to think back and remember this annual Christmas auction that their grandfather put on. And it's a bonding activity that the siblings enjoyed together and the cousins enjoyed together. And it becomes a family tradition that will fill them with warm feelings, for many years to come. And that is even more meaningful than decluttering your stuff, right? But it's killing two birds with one stone. So that's a wonderful, fun activity. If you have, and even grown children could participate in something like that. And, he said sometimes it got pretty exciting, right? So sometimes kids were really bidding each other up and they really wanted a specific item. And so I thought that's a wonderful idea. And I have to just continue passing that idea on to people because I think it's great.
What a great holiday tradition. I mean, I'd like to give that man a shake of my hand. That's a great thing to do. I know of a family many years ago at Christmas time, the parents said, well, if there's anything in the house you'd like, when we're gone, let us know, maybe put your name on the back of it. And for years afterward, the parents were finding people's names on the back of really bizarre things. The kids really had a great time going into the house. I think somebody put their name on the back of on the side of the phone that was hanging on the wall in the kitchen. There was a lot of humor involved in that, but it was a great way for families to find out what it is, if child A is interested in this item, and child B might be interested in something else. And the parents didn't know that until they asked.
Can we have access to your clutter-free gift guide if we go online?
Yes, absolutely. I have it for free download on not on changingspaces.com, but on easyrightsizing.com. So that is my website that I created as a companion to the 2 books that I've written on the right sizing process. So if you go to easyrightsizing.com and you click on worksheets and resources, The fourth one there is Clutter-Free Gift Guide. So it's a free download. You can print it out and use it. And yeah, there are a lot of good ideas on here. I think I need to print it out every year just to remind myself. And then, shameless plug, if you click on books over there on easyrightsizing.com, then you can find the link to purchase both of my books, Ready to Right Size and Keep the Memories, Not the Stuff.
Great information to have, Jeannine. Thank you so much for spending the time this morning with us and sharing all this great info with our listeners.
Thank you, guys. I love coming.
John, how can listeners get more information about Legacy Terrace and the other state-of-the-art legacy communities around Lincoln?
All you have to do is call us at 402-436-3000 or check out our website, legacyretirement.com.
Happy holidays, Kathy. We'll talk next week. Join us every Saturday morning for the Aging Adventure, brought to you by the Legacy Retirement Communities. I'm Dale Johnson.